Yep. Yes. Yep. Check. 1, 2.
Check.
1, 2.
1, 2. Alrighty.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Hey yo.
Okay.
Man,
All right. Shall we just get going on this here?
Wait, should I do the normal intro?
Do it. All right. Do it, man.
All right. We are live.
Yeah.
Welcome
All
everybody
right.
to a very special episode of Too Sweet Converse, brought to you by Too Sweet Cosplay, live at Chicago Fan Expo. What is up, guys? Happy Friday. It's a beautiful day. Let's get it going. I am...
Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you. I am Nico. How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
Very good.
All right. So I guess we can just introduce ourselves here,
Yeah, that's
too.
why I was literally,
Yeah.
I was literally waiting for you.
I was
like,
going to say, you didn't give me a cue or anything.
I stopped talking. I didn't have to give you a cue.
Professionalism at its finest,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
We're off to a great
This
start.
is pretty much how we are on a regular basis anyway, so this is nothing new for us. But what's up, guys? My name is Andy. I go by the name Wildcard. And if you're familiar with New Japan Pro Wrestling, you might be familiar with this getup here. So I am El Phantasmo from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
What's going on, everybody? I am Ezra Vickery. I am, of course, cosplaying as the former Game Changer Wrestling World Champion, the king, the god of this, the deathmatch specialist, Nick effing Gage. MDK all day, everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm Brian. You might know me as Omega BR, and I am not Ice Cream Junior from Los Ice Creams because I can't wear this thing the whole time.
Oh, man.
I can't see. So
We also call him Baby Shark. So
Yeah.
You
You may have seen him as the left shark in different
yes.
conventions there. But yeah, that's pretty much who we are there. Too Sweet Cosplay. We're a cosplay group that are huge wrestling nuts, and we just go to conventions. We try to do a lot of showcase on pro wrestling, since Chicago is a huge has a huge fandom of pro wrestling, though. Yeah.
It's a huge pro wrestling scene. And also, real quick, want to give a shout out to Steve-O, Stephen James, and Raquel. They are also members of our group. Unfortunately, they are not here with us this weekend, but that empty chair sitting right next to Andy, that symbolizes them in spirit. So they are with us here in spirit.
So Steve-O, you are here in spirit with us.
Yeah, and so is Rocky.
Yes, absolutely. So, but yeah. I mean, we've been doing this for it's about 5 years for us, man. Yeah.
It'll be. Will it be 5? Yeah, it'll be 5
Yeah,
years. 5 years. It's
Man,
been
where's the
5
time
years.
gone? You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
all of a sudden I'm wearing
Yeah.
CM Punk gear and a Cub jersey. I see this guy dressed up as Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
We took a picture together and we're like, hey, why don't they do a wrestling cosplay group? Why don't we just do one? And the first convention where we ever had a booth and we ever had a panel was, right here at formerly known Wizard World, now known as Fan Expo.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, nobody actually came up with that idea.
No,
So,
yeah. Which was super weird. We're like, wait, what? And remember, our original logo was going to be the Bullet Club logo, because that's kind of where we got the idea. We wanted to call ourselves Bullet Chicago.
Yeah.
So Ezra comes up with a mock logo, and it's like super cool. It's like super badass. And then like a day later, Pro Wrestling Tees comes out with the Bullet Club Chicago themed shirts. So we're
Figures.
just like, well, there goes that idea.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we came up with the new little logo we have now.
Yeah.
It looks very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to this man right here. So I mean, he created a logo for us here.
Yeah.
Definitely, and it was just because we were all fans of Bullet Club. We've always been fans of Bullet Club since at least 2015, 2016.
Since its inception of Bullet Club,
Especially with us being huge fans, we decided we're going to create this logo, and what else can we do it in the style of the group that we love more than anything, and that's the BC. Real quick, I want to give a special shout out to the former marketing director of Wizard World, Sammy Levine. If she's watching this, she is the one who gave us this opportunity 5 years ago and allowed us to do what we do
Sammy,
and
we love
showcase
you.
whether it's our cosplay talents or whether it's just us being nutso wrestling fans like most of you are here. So definitely a big shout out to Sammy and thank her again for giving us this chance and this opportunity 5 years ago and snowballed to where we're at now. And definitely want to thank everybody who's come along for the ride 5 years.
Yeah,
and,
we met some pretty awesome people.
Yeah,
during the
also
ride here.
like the cosplay community, like Age of the Geeks, our buddy Rob Fury, and all those guys. They kind of welcomed us right out the chute, and we're just like, hey, do your thing, whatever you guys need. We will help you. We will bring people to
and
you.
and the cosplay community has just been really good to us there too. Because I mean, they were really amazed with the stuff that we've been doing there.
Yeah, and we've only been doing this for 5 years, which is like super nuts that we already have this big of a following.
Yeah, we've had plenty of special guests. We've had Velvet Sky. We've had Billy and Austin Gunn from the Gun Club.
The Ass Boys, say it correctly, please.
we've had the longest reigning Ring of Honor television champion of all time, Jay Lethal, stop by one of our booths over the previous years, and that was an awesome thing. And people have heard of us. We've been retweeted by Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. We've been noticed by the wrestling community, and it's been amazing. So.
It's weird that we get followed by wrestlers too.
It's crazy.
Okay.
Yes, and with that being said, why don't we get started on a little discussion here, gentlemen?
Okay, all right. So, and like I mentioned to these guys here too, we got a lot to talk about here too. So I don't know how many of you guys follow wrestling out here. You guys wouldn't be here if you weren't, but say for the most part, we got a good variety of news to talk about here. I mean, where do we even start here? I mean, should we go WWE first here, or should we go AEW?
Yeah, let's hit WWE.
Let's do
first.
WWE first. There was actually a pay-per-view not too long ago here, Hell in the Cell there.
Yeah, right here in Chicago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, awesome. Brian, you were there for that there too. What was that like for you, man?
Yeah, I was there live. It was fun seeing that big giant red cage, although it looks big.
I
on
hate
TV.
the red cage. Go back to the regular cage, please.
It looks like a giant milk crate.
It does.
Basically, it's just call it the milk crate. There. Yeah.
I hate it with a burning passion.
But it was from what I saw, it was a pretty good show for being in, especially with the main event. Cody, Seth Rollins, just absolute put on another classic match, and Cody, of course, coming in with that torn pectoral muscle.
Yeah. Just for the record, that don't wrestle on a torn pectoral muscle. You just don't do that.
Yeah. I honestly thought that was storyline, but then when I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness.
No. I mean, if you guys saw the pictures of that there too, I mean, it was pretty bad.
Man, when he took that jacket off, the live crowd was just this collective groan. Like,
and I think honestly that him working that way, for the record, like the rest of my colleagues said, we recommend you do not work or wrestle with a torn pectoral muscle. But that made Cody, at least in my opinion, the biggest star in WWE right now, especially from a babyface standpoint.
Yeah, especially on the babyface realm, because if you think about it, the biggest star heel-wise in WWE is, of course, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. But
Austin Theory's coming up though.
Yep, he is. He's moving up there pretty quick. But with Cody wrestling with that injury, it made him a bigger babyface overall, and it proved how tough he was. I mean, we knew how tough Cody is. He's done some pretty hard-fought matches. I mean, he did that one match against Andrade where he basically went through a flaming table. He put himself through thumbtacks. He's done a lot of crazy stuff. But this right here was the ultimate gut check.
Yeah.
And Cody passed with flying colors, and we respect Cody. We all do, and you can't help but respect him more after that gutsy performance, because any normal wrestler, any normal person would have went to the doctor, got surgery, and been out for how long as he is. But he wrestled through it, got through the night on Raw, and then he's going to be on his way back, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah. He is going to be out for quite some time, though.
At least until the end of the year, from what I'm hearing.
But it's still crazy that and I was just thinking about this. It's just like it's still crazy to me that he comes back to WWE and he comes back in his American Nightmare getup there too. Theme song, his attire, everything about him just carried over from AEW to WWE, which is still astounding because it's just like, okay, this is WWE. You'd think he would actually go back to his Stardust gimmick, you know, so or something like that.
Well,
And-
he did do the cartwheel.
But you give
so-
kudos.
He did do the cartwheel.
Oh
But-
yeah,
But you give kudos to WWE though for working with Cody and allowing that to happen, because WWE does not do that very often.
Yes,
They only do
Vince
that for a
hates-
select talent, and Cody is that select talent.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know, to have Kingdom by Downstate, to have the Cody Vader, to have the whole American Nightmare get up and the pyro, I thought was probably the moment that made outside of Steve Austin wrestling. That's what made night one of WrestleMania, and pretty much made the whole weekend as just an overall 2-night
that was a
event.
huge pop there too that he
Oh,
got
yeah.
there.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
mean, and the thing is, Vince hates, and when I mean hate, I mean he absolutely hates paying for music from an established artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is well known of that. So the fact that Cody was able to get, you know, Kingdom as his theme song, and basically like the rest, you know, you guys said, everything that he did in AEW, he's able to do in WWE. But let's be honest, as much as we all love AEW, and as much as AEW is great for the wrestling industry, WWE is this whole other entity that has its own universe that is going to take what Cody did in AEW and just magnify that by like 10, if not
Yeah.
more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, it's just a matter of time until we can see potentially some other guys from AEW, possibly jumping ship to WWE.
But it's going to be all dependent on, of course, the contracts and who WWE is looking for at the time. Because as you know, lately they've been looking for a lot of collegiate athletes, former NFL players. They're going
Yeah.
back to stars, building them from scratch again, instead of signing independent or former talent from other companies with this whole next in line program that they started. So with that being said, it's going to be interesting to see who does jump ship. A lot of guys like for instance, a lot of guys went to other companies instead of WWE. I mean, Joey Janela returned to GCW after being let go by WWE, and
You mean AEW?
yeah, or let go by AEW. We'll see what happens. So as this year progresses, who
Yeah.
knows?
Alan Angels just
Yeah, he just
debuted
showed up
on
at Impact.
Yeah,
Alan
yeah.
Angels, yeah.
Now
yeah.
he's on
Dark
Impact.
Order.
Yeah, he's on Impact now. He's actually going to be, I think, facing the X Division champion coming up.
Yeah,
He did already. It was yesterday.
it's good talent right there. He's a good dude. I met him there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Definitely.
yeah, yeah.
Let's go ahead and let's get into
Let's see here. I think we
Money
how
in the
about
Bank.
how about we talk about Money in the Bank here too? And yeah, yeah.
We got to get into that.
We could
First of
def-
all, congratulations to Liv Morgan.
how about that,
Liv
Liv
Morgan,
Morgan?
congratulations.
Yeah.
That's a feel-good story.
That truly
if
is.
there
truly
ever
is.
was one.
Good for her. I gotta say, like, she's definitely one gritty one though, for sure. No.
Yeah, she's a grinder.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean that in the best way possible. But again, with the way how WWE is, it's all about the believability factor.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we all agree Liv is a great talent. But,
Yeah.
but when you have Ronda Rousey,
Yeah, yeah.
Charlotte's gonna come back eventually. You know,
Hey, you gotta take advantage of that though.
Yeah.
Take advantage of that opportunity there.
Yeah.
So-
Well, one would think they would do kind of what they usually do, and they had this feel-good moment and everything. But they've really been pushing Liv these past couple of weeks, and they showed the angle of Michael Cole,
jumping
out of his seat.
Yeah, I
The
saw the
reaction-
Instagram
great.
video on that. I saw the Instagram video. They
Yeah.
basically lost their minds there.
I mean,
So-
everybody seems really genuinely happy for
And,
her.
and,
and-
no, and I will say this, with that being said, with Cole jumping out of his seat, Cole would not be doing that if one Pat McAfee did not come to WWE.
Oh my god,
Pat McAfee is the
a
best-
godsend for WWE.
And,
all right?
and congratulations to Pat, who just signed a brand new multi-year contract with WWE as well.
Yeah.
Which means he'll be sticking around with the company for a few more years. Which means Adam Cole gets to hear Pat McAfee's voice every Friday night. Once again. Quick story: if you guys don't know the history about Pat and Adam, you guys haven't seen the pre-shows for WWE to watch-alongs. Them two go at each other left and right, jabs at each other. Adam Cole said one time to Pat, "What would be a great idea? A Pat McAfee on a pole match." And he said, "You know what? And we just put you on there. We just leave you dangling like a fish. We don't get you down. We just." It was hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had a great match against each
Yeah.
other in NXT.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, so we got the female side of it, but let's talk about the male side here. We got Theory as our new Mr. Money in the Bank.
He is a star.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say Austin Theory. I don't.
Yeah, I
Austin.
can't-
We're just gonna say Austin Theory, even though they dropped the first name there.
Screw,
That's another
screw
discussion.
WWE with their stupid shortening of the names. What a joke.
Yeah.
I have a theory on why they did that.
This is more
Yeah.
often one of my dad jokes is told by Claudio.
Yeah.
Oh God, please don't get him started on
So what do you
dad
guys
jokes.
think with what they're doing with Austin Theory right now? I mean, right now they're clearly pushing him to the moon to be the next big guy here in WWE, and in retrospect, he does have that look there too, and he's not too bad in the ring there.
He can be the next guy for WWE for the next 5-10 years. He could be the guy. And I say that not because of his look or because he could do, a dive, which is what everybody in wrestling wants to do now. Everybody wants to do a dive so they can pop the crowd. Theory can actually wrestle to the point where he can slow it down psychology-wise to where he makes you think, oh my God, I hate this guy. I want to see somebody destroy him. Please. There aren't that many people in wrestling.
No,
not a lot.
His age that can do that. I remember I saw somebody on social media want to be like, oh my God, he's WWE's answer to Sammy Guevara in AEW. No disrespect to Sammy. I love Sammy Guevara. I think he's great. But I say Theory is better simply for the fact that Austin Theory doesn't need to do a big dive. He can do it, but he doesn't need to get the story across in the ring. Prime example, go back and watch, I forget the name of the event. It was in Saudi Arabia when he was in the chamber with Brock Lesnar and everything he had to do in regards to selling for Brock. Once he got through that, I knew, okay, WWE is going to strap the rocket on this kid eventually, and it looks like they're doing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Theory's definitely got a bright future ahead of him. He's definitely a talent who I would consider to be definitely the future of the business and definitely one of the guys to watch out for, especially as that cocky, arrogant heel that he is, which is something, and believability is something that's missing from a lot of guys.
Yeah.
You look at an MJF, you look at
Missing from
you look at
wrestling
an
as a whole.
You look at an MJF, you look at a Bully Ray, you look at those guys. Those guys are true 100% heels. Austin Theory is getting to that point, but he's doing it in a different way, where he is cocky, arrogant, taking selfies with other people, acting like a fool. But then again, look at where it's got him. He's got a Money in the Bank briefcase, chance at a world title soon.
Yeah, it's crazy just because, when he first got called up during, the pandemic years there too, they really didn't know what to do with him there.
Yeah, they put him with Selena and
They put him in that
Andrade?
group with Andrade and Garza and Selena, and I was just like, okay, we got a white guy here,
Yeah, I was
in
like-
a Latino,
I was like,
in
yo,
a
they put-
Latino stable here
I
too.
was
I
like,
was just
yo,
like,
they
where
put-
does he fit in the mix here?
I was like, they put the white boy with 3 Latinos. Like, how is this
Sir.
gonna work?
So I'm just like, okay, where does this go from here?
You're
But
lucky I don't have a pizza cutter in my pocket right now, or otherwise I'd 150 your head.
this is what we do, people. This is what we
yeah.
do. Yep.
It is an interesting dichotomy because usually when somebody, quote unquote, is forced down our throats, be it a John Cena or whoever or Roman Reigns, they're usually kind of the Superman. Really, they beat everybody. They can beat everybody with ease. And now you could argue Theory is in that same token, but being a heel, he is doing all the things that sort of. I mean, I know plenty of people who were annoyed that he was inserted in that match and won. But I mean, that's kind of the point, isn't it? That's what you want.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
you want out of a heel there.
And
Yeah.
if you think about it, the fact that he actually did win the match, I look at it as, okay, this is actually a young guy that they're putting the briefcase on instead of an established guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing that kind of
that is
impresses
true,
me
yeah.
a little bit with
Yeah,
WWE
and
because right now it's not all about Roman Reigns, it's not all about Charlotte Flair, So I mean, right now it's like, okay, they're actually pushing a guy that essentially came from their, well, I wouldn't say from the system because he's been in the Indies for a while. He's been
Yeah.
well known. So, but
Well, he did promise on the show that he was going to cash in the main event of SummerSlam, which I hope he doesn't do because
I actually hope he does. And I'm going to counter that simply for the fact that I read something on Twitter this morning. What if, you want to talk about heel heat, what if, okay, the main event of SummerSlam is Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, last time
Yeah.
ever, winner take all, last man standing.
Well,
match.
that
Okay,
we'll
great.
see.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll see. Okay, great. Last man standing match. They're both knocked out in the ring. Both of them are down. All of a sudden, Theory comes in to cash in with the briefcase. Because it's a last man standing match, he's already standing up. They're both down for a 10 count. How did it not get over as heel heat for him to get the belts that way? I don't think WWE will pull the trigger on it, but you want to talk about getting heel heat and having an entire stadium just boo you.
That's a pretty good point.
Also,
literally do nothing.
Also, if you look at it from an average respect, it also protects Roman and Brock. That way, they don't look weak against Theory, because whenever you're dealing with, and this is something this is something that Bully Ray has said on multiple times on interviews and radio shows.
Here we go. He has to quote Bully Ray in every single show we do. Go.
Anyways, as I was trying to say, was that the plan is always when you have a big star like a Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, whether you want to protect them, you don't want them to look weak against a smaller opponent or maybe an opponent who's not as established. You got to protect them, and you do that by doing what Nico said. That's a perfect example of protecting your talent, protecting your top stars. By having Theory do that, he's not pinning Brock. He's not making Brock submit. He's not doing the same thing to Roman. So protects both of them. Theory wins the title, and then you never know. And then there'll be a chase depending on whoever is next.
I mean, if you look back at the original cash-in when Edge cashed in on Cena, Edge really was not in the main event scene at that time.
Edge wasn't even on TV.
Yeah, that's what propelled him. And Cena had just finished winning Elimination Chamber, and
he was all
when
bloody.
Edge came in, and the ultimate opportunist, I believe they call him. And
yeah, the ultimate, the ultimate opportunist was
so I really like your theory, Nico, about Theory could literally do nothing and become champion.
Theory of theory.
Yeah. Shall we transition here? So there's always the other side of the coin here with
real quick. Does anybody have any comments about Money in the Bank? Do they want to say anything?
Yeah. Let's get audience participation here. Yeah.
Come on up.
Come on up, man.
Just
just
grab
right
Nico's
there.
mic.
Yeah, you can borrow Nico's time.
I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this.
Here, talking to the mic.
We have an ongoing situation.
Oh, there.
Oh, we got another mic?
What's your name, by the way?
Hey, shout out to Fan
this
Expo.
is
They're
Rich.
very prepared.
What's up?
Rich from Chicago.
Rich from
Rich,
Chicago. What's up,
Chicago.
Rich?
What's
How you
up?
doing,
What's
man?
going on, guys?
Now, are you really from Chicago,
Yes.
or are you like Hoffman Estates?
We'll say city limits.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Wow, you ain't even from the
Yeah.
city, you're from the suburbs.
We're at the Fan Expo live from Chicago.
Yeah,
Hey,
I got
WWE
you.
does it, so we'll do it too.
Okay.
We have an ongoing thing where it's almost predictable the women's Money in the Bank will be cashed in within 2 days, same night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going with that too far? Because that's like a year's worth of booking potentially.
You
that
know
could
what?
do.
That's why I said I hope he doesn't cash in at SummerSlam, because that's the thing that annoys me about Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
It's like you win it, and then you cash in, and then the thing is gone for a year again.
And I
like
love-
the whole
I love
point,
the booking
or at least
when you
part of
have
the
it.
point,
Yeah.
the whole mystery of it, right?
Okay, and I hear what you're saying, Rich, but here's why I'm comfortable with
Okay.
WWE doing that, at least in regards to the women, and I'm not trying to sound sexist here at all. Please forgive me if it comes across that way. WWE does not know how to book their women. Other than Charlotte, they
Point
don't.
Yep.
Point
Okay, look, I know everybody is putting the rocket on Bianca, and everybody loves Bianca, and oh my gosh, she's the EST. Okay, great. You're athletic. You can probably, deadlift me from my wheelchair. That's awesome. God bless you. But other than whoever they have as like their top star, like right now in WWE, it's for the women's side, it's Bianca,
Yep.
Becky, and Charlotte maybe whenever she's not, pissing them off. And I'm really glad at Charlotte for actually pissing off management and saying, hey, we need to do something different here. Other than the top stars, WWE does not know how to book anybody else, nor do they even try. It's a proven track record. I'm sorry, you have somebody who does great character development in everything she does in Alexa Bliss, and you mean to tell me, because people hate her because, she stole the Fiend's gimmick. She stole the Fiend's gimmick. No, she didn't. It was a partner collaboration. They got rid of Bray, unfortunately. Nobody wanted that. Not even Alexis. You don't believe me? Go watch the interview she just did with Ryan Satin. Okay? Go watch that interview. Everything Alexa Bliss does for WWE, she knocks it out of the freaking park. You mean to tell me any of the other girls can't do that? Look at what Carmella's doing. Everything she does, she knocks it out of the park. Yeah, it may not be what wrestling fans want, but it's great character development. And that's the one thing WWE says they want to focus on, but they never do.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, but definitely getting back to what you're saying, man, I do see your point. Definitely, you know, WWE, when it comes to booking, especially the Money in the Bank matches, it can be a bit predictable on the cash-ins. I do agree with that. I mean, there's prime examples is the Shield cash-in moment with Dean Ambrose cashing in on Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and that's you know, we kind of knew then it was going to happen. The Liv Morgan thing, I didn't see it coming to a degree. I didn't expect it
That
to
was
happen.
actually pretty surprising.
I was
actually.
Surprised, so I'll give them credit for that. But you are right. You with some of these competitors, you can build a long story with them with that briefcase, and to me, that needs to happen in the next year or so because. In order to keep a pay-per-view, a branded pay-per-view like Money in the Bank interesting, you need an interesting aspect to it and not just the same old client briefcase cash it in the same night or the night after. Build a story off it. Make them chase for that championship opportunity instead of giving it to them right away.
All right, hey, Rich, let me ask you a question. And this is actually for everybody. When Liv Morgan came out, did anybody think, oh my God, Ronda's about to squash this girl in about 30 seconds? Yes or no?
I did.
Rich,
They,
what about
they
you?
planted the seed of doubt. They did.
The thought of that actually crossed my mind, but I was just like, oh, no, they're going to do something with this
All right,
here.
Rich, what about you?
Honestly, everybody was still so busy saying Bailey that they weren't even like when not to jump ahead, but when I went to Forbidden Door, it's like everybody just shut up about Kenny Omega. We love Kenny. He's not here. Let's just enjoy this.
Yeah.
Kind of the people I'm watching
Yeah,
Money in the Bank with, it's like
That's true.
the match is already over. Bailey's not here, guys. Relax. So
Yeah.
people were still saying Bailey. To answer your question, I didn't see it coming, but I can't take away from Liv Morgan.
Yeah, like,
it's her moment. It's awesome.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that. Liv Morgan, we all love you.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna-
Thanks, Rich. Appreciate
thanks,
it. buddy.
Rich.
Yeah, thanks a bunch.
Thank you, Rich.
All right. Oh, speaking of Forbidden Door, should we?
Let's get right into it,
Yeah,
man.
I think we need to talk about that there.
And what a hell of a show it was,
Yeah.
man.
What a
Yeah, wait,
spectacle
how many of
indeed.
us?
Yeah,
how many
show
of
of hands. Anybody here will go to Forbidden Door at all? Okay. Oh, got a couple. Okay. All right.
Yeah, one of us unfortunately missed.
Yeah, due to an unfortunate medical issue at the time, I couldn't make
Yeah.
it. But I got to watch the show from home, and even then, it was still a
Should
great
we,
show. It didn't matter to me.
just pre-synopsis here. It's basically a AEW and a New Japan Pro Wrestling crossover event there.
Something that really hasn't been seen on a grand scale like
Yeah.
this before since
Since the early '90s, when
Yeah.
WCW,
Yeah.
and, you
Yeah.
know,
absolutely,
New
absolutely.
Japan or All Japan would do,
Yeah, well, yeah. When they
crossover
did the collision, when they did the collision in Korea.
Yeah.
or Worlds Collide.
We were fortunately blessed to all go to the show there. I think we were scattered pretty much all over it, though,
Yeah,
for the
we
most
were.
part. Well, I mean, no,
More or less,
unfortunately,
yeah.
E wasn't able to make it, but, I think a lot of us really reaped the benefit of it, though. So,
Yeah, overall, the show was top notch, start to finish, amazing.
yeah.
It was a great night for us pro wrestling fans because we got to see
It was incredible.
We
Yeah.
got to see the debuting Claudio Castagnoli take on Zack Sabre Jr. in what was
Mm-hmm.
an absolute great technical masterpiece. We got to see legends like Okada, Tanahashi. We got to see Switchblade Jay White from New Japan.
Sabata's pop.
Yeah,
That was huge.
Katsuyori Shibata showing
Genuine
up. and
surprise. Yeah.
it-
Yeah,
it-
you want
it-
to talk about like a feel good moment? That was one for me. To see Okada wrestle again, and to see the ace Tanahashi. You want to talk about somebody who's over?
Yeah.
That guy is over.
Crazy over.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
That's why he is basically New Japan's John Cena in a sense because he is that guy. He's the guy that they've depended on for so many years before the Rainmakers showed up and kind of took the reins from there.
Guys, why is Santa here with what is
Yeah, we just saw Santa walking by here, too.
Come
so-
here, come here.
Yeah.
Come here, we're live. Come on. No.
Oh my gosh.
We're live.
Ho, ho, ho.
Come on.
Yeah.
Pick up the pace a little bit. Come here, please. No, I'm serious.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
awesome.
yeah.
Hey, man.
Dashing
But
through the snow back to this topic.
man, the card was stacked, and I mean, we can't forget about talking about the fact that that we had so many injuries going into this event there too. That it was uncanny.
Such a snake bitten show.
It really was.
Injuries, travel issues, illness. Unfortunately, like Hiromu Takahashi at the last second had to pull out because
Yeah.
of a fever.
I was salivating.
CM Punk,
Yep.
of course, out with the.
And I was salivating over the fact that we could have had Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr.
Dude, that would have been that would have been match of the year, simply based on wrestling. That's the key word there, folks.
both
Wrestling.
men have a thirst for not only technical wrestling but violence as well. And at this point, outside of Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. does it better than anybody.
Yeah, but I mean, but the fact that we got Claudio Castagnoli in the process there
And
too.
that was a massive pop.
I mean, nobody could have matched that too, because I think there was even rumors of Johnny Gargano being the guy too.
I mean, and Johnny was in Chicago doing a signing. So
he was at a card trading expo. Just actually, I believe it was here.
It was at the Donald.
How about that?
Yeah,
It was a little bit south of here,
he was
yeah.
a little south of here actually, but he was but he was in town, but he
Definitely drivable, that's for sure.
but yeah, definitely the show was great. I mean, everybody put out their best efforts.
Yeah. Like since we're on the topic though, I mean, what would you say? Like, there was a match that stood out to you guys? there?
Absolutely, Orange Cassidy and
Yes,
Will Ospreay.
that
That's
was
what I was
the
gonna say.
match.
That was Orange Cassidy's best match.
My God,
And
that was
to me, Will Ospreay once again is a guy. Everybody knows him as the flippy guy against Ricochet in that video that pissed off Vader for like 2 years. But
Hey, leave Vader alone.
but Will Ospreay showed a maturity level that was very well seen in that match. He slowed the pace down, kept it physical, didn't do all the dives and all the flips. He saved that for the special moments instead of doing it every 5 seconds like he did as a junior heavyweight. As a heavyweight, he had more psychology. He, like I said, he slowed the match down, more physicality, more forearms, more headlocks, things like that. And that's something that Will has really showcased over the past 2 or 3 years. And Orange Cassidy was the perfect foil for Will with the sloth-like mentality. And then when it's time, he turns it up and brings it. And it was funny. They mixed the comedy with the serious pro wrestling. And probably my favorite moment was right after the hidden blade and he picked him up for the Stormbreaker. He threw the thumbs up before he spun him around. I thought that was a nice little touch. And then of course Shibata coming out and attacking Will. I thought that was an absolutely incredible moment.
yeah.
You guys know how I feel about Orange Cassidy. I am not the biggest.
No, Nico, how do you feel
No,
about Orange
he's-
Cassidy?
I can't
Please,
stand-
it's not
Yes,
like, it's not like there's
please share with the crowd. How do you feel about Orange Cassidy?
It's not
You're
like, it's not like there's
uh,
3 different group chats that you're in that you freaking talk about it. So
What could it always?
You're like his second biggest fan, right?
No, I can't stand.
Yes, and tell us how you feel about Britt Baker there.
Hey,
Yeah.
leave Bebe alone, please. All right.
yeah, she still can't keep up with Thunder Rosa, but
Yeah.
that's a whole different story.
what? Oh God! Wow.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah,
hey.
overall, Brian, what are your thoughts on Forbidden Door since you were there live?
Oh,
Front row, mind you. Brian was front row.
I was off to the side. I was the entrance barricade. If you can get that seat, it's a fantastic seat. If you saw signs to the right of your screen as guys were coming out, that was me. So bring back Vigilante 8.
I still
But,
can't get over the fact that you pulled up the Too Sweet Cosplay banner,
Yeah, as
or the
Osprey-
poster
as Osprey was
as
coming
Jay
out, yeah.
White
Yeah,
was coming down.
Right
Oh,
as
you're right,
Jay
Jay
White.
White, Jay White.
Right
That's
as
right.
Jay White is coming down, and he's.
I'm
throwing
just
up the
like,
two
that
straight.
is like cover art worthy right there. I'm just saying there.
That's gonna be my header on my Twitter and my
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah.
soon.
It
Yeah.
should.
I need to send you guys the shots of that too.
Please
but,
do.
Yes,
And honestly,
yes.
should.
Thank you.
It
But I
honestly
mean,
should.
just the atmosphere. One of the things that I really love about being up here in Chicago. I'm from North Carolina originally, and we have our share of shows at PNC Arena and everything.
Yeah.
But just being up here, whether it's Allstate, whether it's the Now Arena as it's called now, or whether it's United Center. I mean, just like you said, when Claudio comes out and the whole place erupts, or even last year when Punk made his debut, I made the decision last minute. I got a nosebleed seat. and just that entire atmosphere of emotion. I mean, that's really
Yeah.
what pro wrestling's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we talk about Forbidden Door. We talk about all these great matches we had in Chicago, but you know, we got to talk about another event that happened just this past week, and that was, of course, Blood and Guts, featuring, of course, the main event match between the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Jericho Appreciation Society. And what an absolute violent, bloody brawl that was from start to finish.
Yep.
I mean, of course, my favorite part was Claudio swinging Jericho on the top of the cage. Holy crap. I mean, I was afraid for Jericho's life because I was afraid if Claudio loses grip and Jericho slips, Jericho's going to go tumbling about 20 feet to the floor with no padding.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bad night for the Wizard.
Yeah.
Well, it's all that
you know
glitter and
I still
oil
can't.
and-
I still can't get over Sammy being thrown off the cage there too,
Yeah,
which I
like-
can never get tired of watching.
Or how about I believe it was Matt Menard hanging upside down from the cage bleeding. What a visual that was. That was violence personified.
Yeah.
And then John bringing a little bit of GCW flair with the glass and bringing in the skewers, which are shades of course, GCW stars Atticus Cogar and of course the GCW lifestyle with the glass.
And this wasn't even a pay-per-view at all, too.
This
you
was
know?
free TV.
Yeah.
Yep.
The fact that they did this on free TV there too, that's saying something right there.
Am I the only person who feels like they missed an opportunity with Claudio swinging Jericho? He should have just swung him off the cage. And I only say this, not that I want Jericho to get hurt or anything. I only say this because remember Blood and Guts last year? Jericho got thrown off the cage into a cardboard box. That's what it was. It was
Yeah.
a cardboard box.
Well, yeah. but-
Sure. All
This
right.
one with Sammy was a better setup though. I would say that
So,
much. It'll look
but
better.
I'm saying like that could have been like a traditional thing, you know? Every year, Blood and Guts. Who's throwing Jericho off the cell?
You know, if I'm booking it, just for no reason, you back up that truck from the six-pack challenge. Remember the six-pack Hell in a Cell that Rikishi fell onto?
Yeah.
And it was like a truck full of sawdust or,
Yeah,
or like
well,
straw.
yeah, with, like,
For no reason, just back it up and it's there. You know?
Yeah.
And
So yeah, definitely the Blood and Guts match.
Yeah.
The overall show was really really good. I thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then of course with the one match I gotta point out real quick on Forbidden Door before we move on.
Yeah, actually, there was something I wanted to mention.
I want to mention the All Atlantic Championship match. the
yeah.
four-way.
Never mind
yeah.
there.
And I
I
thought
was,
that
I
was
was
a
just
really
gonna
good
talk about. I was
four-way,
going to talk about that one
And
there.
to
Yeah.
me, that is the match that I think has skyrocketed the career of Clark Connors.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't know who he is. Clark Connors, he's a New Japan Young Lion who recently graduated from the dojo. He just had his first experience in one of the best cruiserweight tournaments of all time. And then he was put in there at last minute because of Ishii, who was supposed to be in it, unfortunately suffered a knee injury. But he had an amazing showing in that match. Miro, of course, was absolutely just a beast in there. Malachi Black. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What can we say about him?
Yeah.
Everybody.
And then Pac is
Yeah, let's just give a quick shout out to Pac here because I mean the fact that he won the match because I think people were speculating that Miro was gonna win this title here.
Yeah, I mean the way the build was.
Yeah, but the fact that they gave it to Pac, I mean that's huge because I mean this guy has been with AEW since day one. And, you know, he hasn't really been given that much opportunity, honestly. I mean, he left WWE to go to AEW for, you know, this kind of opportunity, but it took him a while to get to that, though. But the fact that they actually gave him the win, gave him a title, you know, that's kudos to them there for at least giving him a run for that. You know, because we all know what Pac can do. Yeah.
Yeah, and real quick, like E said, Clark Connors, like, what a stud. I've never seen this dude wrestle. I remember I was sitting next to my friend that I went with for the show, and I go, does anybody know anything about this kid? And everyone just, the whole arena at the United Center were all just looking around like, okay. Well, when he hit Miro with that spear through the table, the whole building erupted. I'm like, okay, whoever this kid is, he's got a fan in me for life. Obviously, he even took the finish, you know, from Pac there at the end, which I thought was a good way to protect everybody else. But Clark Connors, if you ever see this, brother, you got a fan in me for life.
Yeah,
Amazing
absolutely. I
performance.
believe you have another match you want to point out real quick.
Yeah. I think we should talk about FTR's current reign right now and
Seven-
tag team dominance.
7-star FTR.
The best tag team in professional wrestling right now.
And I mean, I agree with that 100%. Dude, these guys are on another level. Ever since they left WWE, they have been just tearing it
They've
up.
dominated the tag team scene.
They have everywhere they've gone. Independence, AEW, and now they hold 3 championships: the AAA tag team titles, the Ring of Honor tag team titles, which they will defend against the Briscoes, and another certified banger, which we'll get to see coming up at Death Before Dishonor.
So, going back to what Nico was talking about WWE booking there too, this is a prime example of that too. Especially when they were in WWE. Yes, they've had some runs, with the tag titles and everything, but they just didn't get their proper deserves.
Am I the only wrestling fan right now who is just downright sad that I cannot get FTR, who's at the top of their game, versus the Usos right now, who are at the top of their game as heels? That would be money right now if we could get FTR versus the Usos.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say about FTR, and this is a compliment to them, is they did not fit in the WWE system because they're such a throwback tag team.
Yeah,
they weren't flashy. They didn't have colorful costumes. They came out in jackets, trunks, boots, came out there and just kicked your ass. That's exactly what they did.
That's it.
That's all.
Very
that's all.
old school, right there.
Modern day brainbusters.
Yeah,
Absolutely, Minnesota Wrecking Crew. A lot of those old school tag teams, and they've proven that time and time again that you don't need to do 100 dives and 100 flips to get over. That all you got to do is just be an exceptional professional wrestler, an exceptional person when it comes to tag team wrestling, which those two are. And that match against the Briscoes at the last pay-per-view was absolutely a prime example. And they're on
Supercard of Honor.
Supercard of Honor, and they're on another level on that.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
By the way, did anybody see the Briscoes promo yesterday?
Yeah, haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I
not
will.
yet either.
Unbelievable!
Yeah, not yet.
Like I cannot wait for their match at Death Before Dishonor. I wish it was the main event. It needs to be the main event. but
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah.
Well,
But
I mean,
just
that's really what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, when you're talking about Clark Connors, nobody knows who he is. He just goes out there and wrestles a great match, and now people know. You talk about even FDR, even if people didn't really know who they were in WWE, they're not flashy. They just wear trunks, really, and they just go out and do a great performance.
They wrestle. That's
that's the thing. Just to kind of summarize Forbidden Door that I've experienced personally. Maybe you guys have too. But is the fact that AEW is not as like so well known compared to like WWE, and yet you got like wrestling fans showing up to this like amazed by the talent that they see, because even though they're like they've been longtime WWE fans, but they've never really seen or are familiar with the product though. But they're just like amazed that there's another alternative outside of WWE there.
And not only that, it also helps with the New Japan star. That helps them get that American exposure, because to be honest, the New Japan World Subscription Service, while it is available worldwide, it's ungodly hours of the morning that you sit up and watch this stuff.
Yeah.
So to have them on that show in a proper time slot and to showcase those guys, I think it helps New Japan in the long run, and especially their U.S. expansion, which they're working on right now.
I mean, I dig New Japan Pro Wrestling, but I'm not getting up at 6 a.m. just to watch a show.
No, it's
more like 3, 4 a.m.
Not going to do that either.
Yeah, it's more like at like 6 a.m. is when the main event.
Yeah. I'll just stick to the YouTube clips. Thanks.
Yeah, it's 6 a.m. when the main event is happening, and then like 3 or 4 is when the actual pay-per-view starts.
Yeah. So, I mean, but, the fact that AEW and New Japan collaborated to do something this special there, too. I mean, there's no guarantee that they're going to do this again next year, but, I mean, it seems like they're leaning towards it, though.
Well, I tell you what, too. I mean, all the matches that we didn't get to see, at least they might be coming. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're still yet to be seen.
I mean, we were fantasy booking this show
for months.
The fact that the show sold out and they didn't even announce a single match, too, at the time. So
this once again proves the popularity of AEW and the popularity of professional wrestling.
Yeah,
in this specific area.
Especially in Chicago, just like what we talked about before. Chicago is just huge when it comes to wrestling there.
And then also again with how snake bitten this show was with injuries. political
And they
issues.
still pulled a hell of a
Political
show
issues.
there too.
I mean, we
Yep.
were originally supposed to get Andrade versus Will Ospreay. Imagine how that match would have been.
Yeah, definitely.
There's just so many different combinations to this show that I mean, it's just it's unlimited, you know. But I mean, they had to go with the best possible card just based on the talent that they had there too.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like we said before, snake bitten. I mean, just imagine if Bryan Danielson or even Punk, if CM Punk were to wrestle on the show, man. I mean, that would have been like huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we had no Naito, we
so
had
we
no
gotta move
Punk,
on.
we had
Yeah,
no.
for sure. But final thoughts on Forbidden Door here, guys.
Great show. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
I think it'll be at Wrestle Kingdom in Japan.
Pretty much sums it up, yeah.
Or I think some form of AEW will have a presence
You have to talk to him.
in Wrestle Kingdom in January in Japan. I honestly thought maybe there could be some New Japan wrestlers at All Out, which is also rumored to be in Chicago. It hasn't been announced yet, but I'm like 99.9% sure.
Oh, it's
it'll
got to be. They had the banner up at
Yeah.
United, just that's kind of a question though. Will it be at Now Arena or could it possibly be at United Center?
I think
again?
it'll be
Yeah.
at now. I don't. If they got the banner pulled up for like the convention at the nearby hotel,
Mhm.
I don't see them moving into a different arena.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the question too. AEW is very popular and
Yeah.
on the rise, but obviously the New Japan connection was a big selling point of Forbidden Door. So All Out being All Out is great. They can certainly sell out Now Arena, but can they
Yeah.
always sell out United Center?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the
That's-
only disappointment I have with Forbidden Door
Yeah.
is Tony Khan. You have Kazuchika Okada, arguably one of the best wrestlers in the world today. Yet you didn't pay for the Okada Bucks cannon during his entrance.
Oh yeah, I was very disappointed. I was in a
Yeah.
position
Like,
to get it this
dude.
time.
Yeah.
I wanted an Okada Buck.
Yeah.
That guy right there still owes me an Okada Buck from All In 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Jesus.
absolutely.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
All right.
Well,
oh yeah, go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say we're getting close to wrapping the show up
Yeah,
for today.
yeah.
So
Let's just maybe just end with one more topic here, too. Just a quick one here, because
one,
this
yeah.
has been basically there's so much that we can talk about here too. But unfortunately, we only have an hour span on this. So
Yeah, hey guys, real
but
quick.
well, I was going to suggest, because there's been some rumors popping up recently about some new female talent coming to AEW there too, and I wanted to hear what you guys
Yeah.
think about that there
Ye-
too.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out of WWE, and now, according to what is being reported, they've been removed from the internal roster. So now it looks like they'll be soon to be free agents, which is going to be very interesting.
mean,
and then
should-
of course, Paige also announced her departure from WWE. So
Soraya, yeah.
I mean, just
right.
imagine like the kind of star power that the women's division in AEW could bring if those three can actually come. But I mean, there's going to be a lot of mixed reactions, I think.
yeah, I'm thinking that's so, because it's the way a lot of people have their opinions on the way they walked out and the way they handled their
Yeah.
business. But in the end, if AEW gets them, it's two top-notch talents. And even if Paige doesn't wrestle,
yeah.
they have a veteran who's able to help out the women's division, which
Yeah.
outside of Thunder, Britt, and maybe one other, they really need to have a veteran force who's going to help that women's division out.
Yeah.
Okay, you know how AEW likes to put, veterans or legends with younger talent? If
Mhm.
Paige or Saraya Knight, whatever she, goes by in AEW, if she can't wrestle, which I think she will eventually, but I don't think she needs to, please, Tony Khan, if you bring her in, put her with Jamie Hayter.
Yeah,
That's money right
That's
there.
actually a good point there.
That
that's
is
a really
money.
good idea.
I'm telling you right now, put those two together, that's money. As
That's
for
something,
Sasha,
something to really think about there. Yeah.
as for Sasha and Naomi, two tremendous talents. Respect them both. Fans of their work, but I could care less.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
any-
Any final thoughts, guys? I think we're gonna wrap this guy up here.
yes, we are.
Yeah.
First of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody who came out and everybody
Yeah.
who stuck around
Thanks
with us
to
for
all
this
you
50
guys.
minutes.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys for hearing our
Yeah.
nonsense here. So
Yeah.
yeah.
For dealing with four morons from the Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland area who are not so pro wrestling fans.
Hey,
thank you guys for the support.
4.5. The wheelchair counts as part person.
I have a joke for that, but I will not say it on camera.
We got to keep it PG here. Come on.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways, don't forget, guys, to please follow us on our social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that. Too Sweet Cosplay. Follow us there. We'll be posting more stuff as we get closer to our next event. We'll post that coming up.
Got some info on that.
Also, if you guys have any cosplay submissions, any wrestling cosplay submissions you want to send to us,
Or any cosplay
We're
in
big.
general.
any cosplay submission, as a matter of fact, if you guys want to send it
We're
to us,
big on that, man. We're big on
we're
that.
good. We're big on featuring cosplay submissions. So if
Yeah.
you guys have it, please send it to us, PM us, and we'll get it, and we'll feature you guys on our social media platforms. But
Yeah.
outside of that, thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you guys.
Hey,
Yeah.
everybody, let's plug our social media so they can actually follow us or find
Yeah.
us.
Oh,
real
yeah.
Quick, follow me at Deadman469 on Twitter. You can also follow me same way on Instagram as well. Follow me there for all pro wrestling, just nonsense BS. Follow Wildcard.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at wildcard_APM. That's pretty much all I use there. I do not have a TikTok. I do not use TikTok, and I refuse to get a TikTok.
Okay,
I'm
somebody
at
really doesn't
Omega
like TikTok.
VR on Twitter, and I haven't tweeted in 9 months, so thank you.
Okay. Yeah. True_Nico on Twitter. TRUE_NIKO. Instagram at Nicholas Melendez, NIKOLASMELENDEZ. Let's talk wrestling. Let's talk pro sports. Let's talk cosplay. Let's talk whatever. Let's have a good time. Hey, real quick, are you guys singing me happy birthday on the way out here?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Yeah,
By the way,
let's,
everybody, this is Nico's birthday here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. Should we sing him happy birthday?
45 years
yeah.
young.
Should we sing him happy birthday now?
I
Hey,
guess.
wait,
Let's
what
do
are you
it.
talking
Yes.
about 45?
Let's do
What are you
it.
talking
Yeah,
about
no,
45?
no.
1, 2,
30.
3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nico. Happy birthday to you.
Hey,
All
too
right.
sweet.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. And we'll see you next
Yeah.
time.
All right.
Enjoy the con.
Enjoy the rest of Fan Expo here.
And let's make it nothing short of Too Sweet.
Why did I feel like I was going to get super kicked on the way out?